brothers, him and his brothers, the quartet, like Michael Jackson's father did.
Right.
Like even we've heard about the Osmonds parenting.
Yes.
There was never a push. It was Depression era. We're in a tiny town of a population of 743 when Andy was born. Without the railroad, there's no town. And it was, boy, you guys have a talent. You want to sing? We'll just do the best we can to help maximize your life and your experience. How blessed they were to have great parents like that.
In those days.
Yes.
When, there were, the issues of parenting weren't all that wonderful. Take how parents treated a lot of their children then, where, hitting was very acceptable and, shame and punishment, and just like the Jacksons family or the Osmonds, a very dysfunctional group. Like, oh my gosh, he didn't have that.
They weren't dysfunctional in the least.
Great.
They were singing in church. They were doing some
Maybe
talent
that's
shows.
the answer, my friend. Church
And
could have been a big
it
answer
absolutely
for it.
was an answer for them. It was part of their lives, all their lives.
Exactly.
And if we recall, and you're a little young, but people my age are going to recall. The images, right or wrong, and I'm not really making a comment about it being right or wrong, but the images we saw on national television during those days, Perry Como or Tennessee Ernie Ford, or pick your artist, the last 3 to 5 minutes of most of their shows might be a sacred song, which, oh my gosh, you would never hear that today, and haven't heard that for 20 years. Yeah. At least it was a sense that spiritualism is a good thing. Now, in today's world, it's not something you have to jump up and down and say, thank you, Lord, or whoever you're saying, for helping me win
whoever
this
your higher
award.
Power is, right?
But just be a part of that and let it
I
control
agree.
your life. Their dad knew the right time to do things for them too. They went to Des Moines and worked 50,000-watt radio. They moved to Chicago, 50,000-watt radio. They moved to Cincinnati. At the time during the war,
right.
$250,000 to $500,000-watt radio, and then he moved them to Hollywood when they boys were offered a contract to work for MGM as a novelty act, like the Nicholas Brothers. If we remember those variety movies, these great tap dancing African American singers would come out and dance and leave and have nothing to do with the plot. They would just do their thing.
Right.
And that's what the Williamses did when they were in California.
I always remember Andy Williams solo. I don't ever remember him with a group, a family group.
This is what is wonderful about what I have a chance to do is if people didn't experience it, they'll then get a sense that when 1962 came and he started a TV series, even though he was young, he was anything but inexperienced. The quartet performing on radio and then in Hollywood, they met Kay Francis, who was an actress, a chanteuse kind of a character. She wrote, she was a dancer, a choreographer. She and the boys were about to leave their contracts in 1947. And she said, I want to do an act with you 4 guys, and I want to do it in a place that is new and burgeoning, but I think we could work on a lounge act and be hot. The place was Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They worked up a lounge act. They had Michael Kidd, who was part of MGM's stable of choreographers, choreograph for them. The 4 brothers and her did this fast-paced, energized lounge act for 4 years in Las Vegas. They were the #1 lounge act for 4 straight years.
And what year was
Vegas.
this?
From 1947 through 1951.
Okay.
The brothers, after 51, they're tired. The other 3 brothers go their way. Andy and Kay go to New York. So he's in New York City by 1951-52. By 1954, Steve Allen, who's doing The Tonight Show, puts him on TV with Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet as one of the talent. So he has that run-up and much, much more that takes you all the way to 1962 before he gets national television. But he had his first national TV hosting work in 1959. He was Pat Boone's fill-in.
Really?
Variety shows were all live.
I remember a lot of variety shows as a young child growing up.
Right. They were live shows, and the host would take 13 weeks off and go recuperate, and he jumped in and did the Pat Boone show, and that was his first national hosting job.
Wow. So you've been really such a devoted fan for many, many, many years, going back to being that little child back on, your couch with your mom and your dad.
Yes.
It's funny how those memories really stay with you. It is. As a child, too, I have those wonderful memories with my family.
I think it's vitally important, too.
I think so, too.
Especially with this kind of music. I mean,
yes.
There are great talent, and I'm sure this state and many others are around the world are full of wonderful talent who just stand and deliver great songs. One that comes to mind who had a fantastic national career and still is performing is Johnny Mathis. I saw Johnny perform.
Good old Johnny Mathis. My mother loved him.
No disparaging him in any way, but he never said a word between songs.
Yeah.
Song, 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 see you later. The audience I'm trying to reach with this show, I'm trying to bring back to their recollection the context of all of this because they lived it as well.
Right.
They went through that period of time. They may have been depression children.
So your target market is going to be those people of that age.
Well, my target female, it's no secret, is 65 to 70-ish, baby boomer. The higher end will enjoy it. The younger end, if I talk to someone of 50 years of age, let's say, they might not have even heard of this artist. So I have a narrower window, but a window that I know this artist can super serve. And when I do, they just love the show.
Yeah, they do. I have your CD at home. You gave it to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I did have a chance to listen to it, and it's wonderful.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful CD, and you have a beautiful voice.
Bless your heart. Thank you.
And I'm hoping that maybe you would like to grant us with a little sampling.
I can do that.
It doesn't have to be if you don't want a whole song, whatever you're comfortable with.
I can do that. When would you like that? You want me to think about it?
Think about it.
I'll
if you
think
like.
about it.
Okay.
I'll think about it.
All right.
Did you tell me you had some trivia here? You gonna?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Would you like me?
Well,
to?
sure. Lay
All
it
right.
on me.
First of all, I want to let everybody know as well that Chuck Gillespie has a CD, and that is available for purchase.
People just contact me if they'll go to my website,
Which is
chucksings.com. It's pretty easy, chucksings.com. You can just send me a little message, and I will tell you how to pick that up real simply.
Okay.
Just message me.
And also, all of his information, of course, will be on my fan page,
Thank you.
website, and all of that. I even wrote a blog. I don't know if you were able to read it.
No, I didn't.
About
I can't
your
wait.
performance.
Well, gosh, I want to read it.
Yes. And
Did you like it? I'm kidding. Thank you. Thank you.
Also, he has a few upcoming events for my listeners. One is March 4th,
Yeah.
Las Palmas Coast, Florida. And
Yeah.
is that the name of the venue?
Yes.
Okay. And then March 25th, the Great American Songbook, Island Lakes, Merritt Island, Florida.
That's a really nice community in Island Lakes. Island Lakes is
And what is it, Island Lakes?
It's a community of people who've moved to Florida to live.
Gotcha.
And it is not far away from where our studios
Yeah.
are here. It's just north of Merritt Island, Florida.
Okay.
Just on Route 3, I guess. I was there in the fall and gave them the Andy Williams show, and they wanted me to come back and do something else. Initially, this was going to be a St. Patrick's show, and I'd have had to sing Danny Boy and all of that.
Yeah, of course.
And they said, no, we want to do it the next week. Don't do that. Could you do like a cavalcade of American pop music era by era? So it's been exciting to put together music from the 40s. I mean, I'm leading with Chattanooga Choo Choo and go all the way through the 70s with Manilow and
Right.
anybody else that I want to put in the 1970s. It's very exciting. So that's that show for that group.
And then you go back to Las Palmas.
Yes.
April 22nd.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And then I'm working on more and more venues as we go. It's
Wonderful.
I'm not represented here in this state, and so I'm doing it pretty much myself. And it's a little bit daunting because there's a lot of people who are trying to serve the same group I'm trying to serve.
Yes.
And so you have to be noticed and be seen. But I came here as I hate to use the word. I'm not semi-retired. I guess I'm semi-employed in a way, in a sense that I'm enjoying the surroundings as much as I am enjoying the work and
That's a
enjoying the
wonderful
life.
thing, though.
Because you change your lifestyle completely when you move to a place like this.
Absolutely. It's a definite change.
I mean, you
And
came from Manhattan, for God's sake.
Yes, from 1988 we lived here. We lived all the way down on Turtle Mountain.
Where's the concrete? Where do I get a bagel?
Oi, the bagels, forget it. But you know what, though, now Publix kind of stepped up their game. Publix is
Have
a
they?
wonderful, yes, I think so. Publix is people really, a lot of Northerners who are just true blue Northerners really care for what Publix serves. Their bakery, they say their rolls are really good now. And now you can get Locatelli cheese thanks to me. Thanks to me only.
Look
because
at Telly
yes, you could
cheese.
never get it here. And,
Can you get Carvel ice cream here?
I don't think so. But you can get it in the frozen section.
I
They
remember
don't have
that
a Carvel store.
I remember those commercials so well. I lived in Brooklyn for a year, and I can remember.
Good old
This is
Carvel.
Javi. Was his first name? What was his James Carvel. That vanilla's really good, Bob. Pour me some. It's like, oh my God,
You
I
can
should
get
try
it
this.
at the freezer section, but we don't have a store. We have here like a Mr. Softy. I forgot the name of it. It's right on US 1. But anyway, what else was I going to say about you? Do you have your website? We gave it,
Yes,
chucksings.com.
Chuck Sings.
Okay.
I couldn't believe that domain was available when I found it, and I went, it's an easy one to recall.
There you go. That's an easy thing.
Yes.
Now, you want to get into the trivia a little bit?
Sure. Let's
It's very simple, and
see
it's
if
fun.
those folks know out there listening as well.
Exactly.
We'll give them a second to come up with it.
So we have here, on December 3rd, 1927, where was Andy Williams born? Was it Wall Lake, Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, or Cincinnati, Ohio?
That's a really good question. The way you've written it, because all three of those places entered into their lives. Andy went to high school partly in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they worked for WLW Radio. The first radio gig Dad got him was in Des Moines at WHO, 50,000 watts, and there were 743 people that lived in Wall Lake, Iowa, when Andy Williams was born.
You were trying to trick me there.
The last of four brothers. And the brothers had names that you never hear anymore.
Like?
Culture has changed so much in America. Dick, Don, and Bob. I dare you to find anybody that has four children today born with those four names.
Those names. You're right in a way.
Dick, Don, Bob, and Andy
Very Americanized.
aren't happening. Very.
How about where did Andy's family move to, and where did Andy finish high school? West Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, Long Beach, California, or San Diego?
That's really good. That's really good. What were the three ones in the LA area? What was that?
We have West Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, Long Beach, California, or San Diego.
This is a good question. I don't know. I'm going to say West LA.
West LA
Because
is right.
they couldn't have afforded Beverly Hills, and they had to work in the LA area because the boys were working at a studio. They wouldn't have been Long Beach or San Diego. That was just a
Very good.
figure that one out with my
I'm sure you know
little
the
brain.
next one. How many brothers did he have?
Three great brothers, and they would appear every year on Andy's Christmas special.
That's what I remember about Andy Williams. I always saw his Christmas special.
Yes, Mom and Dad would be there, and the Williams brothers. They were a tight, wonderful quartet. And for all of you YouTubers, if you'll just YouTube Kay Francis and look up and the Williams brothers, or just YouTube the Williams brothers, there are available about 3 or 4 kinescopes of them appearing on network television doing the act. The boys are all in black, dancing around, singing, and it was those days where women wore skirts that had lots of stuff in them, and you know the look I'm talking about. It's just marvelous bit of history to watch.
My past life or my future life will be from the 1940s because that was my era. I love it.
That's a great era.
Love the era. Love the way the women dressed and how the men acted. Men were men, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely they were. Maybe the iconic remembrance for me of the 1950s is my Davy Crockett coonskin cap. That's kind of where I was at that time.
All right. In 1944, which famous singer, this is an easy one, I think even I knew this, which famous singer did Andy and his brothers sing with as a hit record? Was it Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Dinah Shore, or Louis Armstrong?
It was, it's an amazing record if you get to hear it too, because they're on it. Like half of it is just them singing. And it's a great song that we all know. Would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar. And it was, of course, Bing Crosby.
Yes, wonderful.
That same era, about 1944, when they were working for MGM, there was a project that came up at Warner's that featured Humphrey Bogart and the brand new Lauren Bacall. They were going to do a movie together called To Have and Have Not. That's the movie we all recall where she says to Bogart, you know how to whistle, don't you? Just put your lips together and blow.
Yeah.
She played a nightclub singer in the movie. And the people at Warner's didn't like her voice. They didn't trust her as a singer. So they auditioned a whole lot of women to dub the singing. and they auditioned Andy Williams.
Really?
He didn't get the part. She sings the part. But he auditioned and actually did sing multiple backgrounds for women because he had,
that voice,
as we saw it later in his records, this incredible tenor.